The Chicago Bears were officially selected to be on Hard Knocks this upcoming season, starting in August. And this does kind of show a new phase for the Chicago Bears in a lot of ways. It's something that we just wouldn't have seen the Bears do historically. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Plus, we're going to dive into the mailbag. All that and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host there, Hayes, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into the content for today. And so, as the world knows, we had an emergency episode. The Chicago Bears have officially been selected by the NFL, NFL Films, and HBO to be featured on Hard Knocks in 2024, the training camp edition. There's another edition of Hard Knocks that comes afterwards where they're going, the whole division is part of Hard Knocks, but the Bears will be the focus of the training camp edition of the show. And, this brings about its own different set of thoughts and things like this. Seen a lot of reactions from Bears fans, some that are for it, some that are against it. I think either way that you look at it, at the end of the day, just signifies that this is a new phase of the Chicago Bears. And while we know that the McCaskies don't typically like this, as a matter of fact, George McCaskey was the only one that was not quoted in the announcement of this as to his feelings on it. But hey, the Bears were one of three teams that could have been forced to do Hard Knocks. It was the Bears, the Saints, and the Denver Broncos when it comes down to it. And George McCaskey has made his feelings known about this for years and years in regards to something like this. But, it seems like per the quotes, now that's all we can take it for. We don't know their own personal feelings in private. But Kevin Warren, Ryan Poles, even Matt Eberflus, who has been a part of it in the past, all seem for it. And this is going to give almost unprecedented access by Chicago Bears fans to really see the ins and outs during training camp for the Chicago Bears team. And so it's something new, and I get it. People were worried about the distraction. The thing that I look at it, these are players that have been in the spotlight their whole entire lives, especially the younger ones now with the access and, especially in college football and things like that now. So, at the end of the day, could it cause some distractions? Yeah, it could be. But it's up to the players, the coaching staff, and overall this team as well to have themselves ready for it. Now, by time this starts airing on TV, training camp will basically be over. So it's not like it's going to be airing at the same time as the Bears are in training camp, and it could turn to even more of a circus. By the time the season starts, the season's going to be its own circus regardless of any of this. So I'm not really worried about it too much, right? As far as the distraction aspect, I can understand the concerns. It's just not a concern that I personally share with it. I'm not worried about the distraction aspect of it. As a content creator, I love it for sure. As a fan of the Bears, taking away the content aspect of it, I still do think for the fans to see what's in and out, and the interest around the team is at an all-time high. You got to look at it. We got the number one overall pick coming in here. Like, that already is going to be having its own level of interest from around the world, right? And this could be a time we've seen other teams, like, you can convert new fans in this. Like, this could be also something that maybe Bears fans who maybe have a specific view right now on, like, Caleb Williams, that could change that a little bit. It could change the view on Matt Eberflus as well. Like, so these things all come down to it. It is what it is, man. At the end of the day, nobody can control it. They were one of the teams that could be forced to do it. And I wouldn't be surprised if the NFL looked at the Bears and said, listen, we've given you a little leeway on this before, but at the end of the day, this is what's best for this product we're putting out. This is what we feel is best for the partnership with HBO. And this may be what we feel is just the best as far as viewership overall, even going into the season, because guess what? The Bears are going to be a team that people are going to be waiting and seeing how Caleb Williams either sinks or swims, and the Bears overall. So that's just the way that I look at it. It is what it is when it comes down to it, man. You look at the interest around the team, but despite the rookies that we have coming here in Rome Odunze, Caleb Williams, Torrey Taylor, who I think, I wouldn't be surprised if Torrey Taylor it probably ends up being one of the stars in this show just with his ability to talk and things like that. But then you got to also look we're bringing in Keenan Allen, Kevin Byard, DeAndre Swift, Gerald Everett, Shane Waldron, right? To add to DJ Moore on top of that, the Bears fan base is huge. And this is a fan base that if you just even look at the voicemails that we got, we span all over the world. So listen, to give fans unprecedented access, I'm never going to crap on that. It is what it is when it comes down to it. and let's get to work. At the end of the day, the Bears got things that they need to focus on. And, if this distracts them from it, I would go on to say that they weren't going to be ready for the focus of it either way, to be 100% honest with you. That's just my personal opinion on it. Could I be wrong? Yeah, I mean, it could definitely turn into distraction. No, just because I don't think that it will turn into distraction doesn't mean that I'm not understanding that the reasons why it could be a distraction. We'll just end up seeing what happens with that. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Now, as far as we got a quick update, we'll get into this more when we're all together as well. Looks like the Bears Stadium has taken another kind of interesting turn in which the public funding was not approved by the Chicago Bears. Now, we're not going to go into the ins and out of that. Like I said, that'll be something that we talk about kind of when we're all together as a panel and we break that down. But don't be on the lookout. Right now, it's left out the public funding for right now. That does not mean that's just the spring session. It does not mean that it could not come back on the docket and be approved later on. But we've said it before that this is going to be something that the Bears and what they initially presented in that press conference, it's not going to happen exactly that way. And it may be a little bit more of a difficulty, getting the funding than what the Bears let on. They may have to come with more money themselves. They may have to raise more funding, but we'll end up seeing what happens with that. I just wanted to give that quick update on those things as well. But it's Friday. That means this episode is mainly built around your voicemails. Let's go ahead and get into these voicemails now. This one's from Damien.
Hey, how y'all doing? It's Damien from South Carolina. Y'all know my slogan, Chicago Bears, a.k.a. I believe in monsters. But anyway, man, talk about the little camp and what's going on. It's a good thing, that the offense taking a hit like this. Everybody talking Caleb. But you got to think about it. This is good right there because right now, everybody, including himself, he been on the high horse. Everything going right. Everybody focusing on him just like the first couple of OTAs. Man, he throwing this just like Courtney Crony, man. I was just like, oh my God. When she was talking about just to see his arm, the ball come off comparing to Justin Fields, I was like, man, that is so don't do that. Don't do that. But anyway, he gonna be all right. I just believe this year he gonna be rough with it. I think everybody keep overlooking. I think next year, the second year, that's when he gonna take us where we need to go. Take us to the promised land. But as right now, first year gonna be tough. And the reason why I say first year gonna be tough because he got a target on his back. He dominated the NFL media as he is the generational talent, which we know he's not generational talent. You'll pick Michael Vick over him any day. That's generational talent, Michael Vick. But the kid gonna be all right. He gonna be good, man. I'm not a big fan of his. I'm a Justin Fields fan, but I'm a Chicago Bears fan first. And he got the talent to take us there. It's just sorry. I'm sorry. Nobody ain't gonna listen to y'all to say he's just a rookie. Just like that is true. But the media and some of y'all said he's generational talent. So he got to come out, or they want him to come out and play like CJ Stroud. But that's unfair. CJ Sprout, bigger, more focused, know how to take the ball on the center. He's prepped. He's ready. And he got the opportunity that we didn't give Justin Fields. And everybody got to understand, Justin would never Brian Poles guy. Brian Poles no trade Justin ever since last year. He already had it in his mind. But that's what I had to say. I was like, everybody calm down, let it go. Our defense don't beat him up more than the defense don't outdo the offense more than the offense will outdo the defense. Remember, our defense been together a while. But y'all know the slogan, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Bear up. I don't say bear down. I said bear up. AKA, I believe in monsters. Take care.
Listen, I get it what you're saying as far as Caleb Williams and the people who say that he was generational. But just because you're generational does not mean that you still don't have rookie hurdles. Look, I always go to Peyton Manning. I don't think many people would dispute that Peyton Manning is a generational player in talent at the quarterback level. Go back and look at his rookie year. Now, while Caleb Williams is coming into a much better situation than most rookie quarterbacks, especially drafted number one overall, even using the CJ Stroud comparison, let's not act. CJ Stroud's first game was rough. And then he put together 3 solid games of a QB rating in the 100s, but then he had 3 straight games of QB ratings in the 80s after that, and then another stretch of a few in the 80s. So rookie quarterbacks, no matter how generational or not you're projected to be, still go through time. So this whole thing that people saying of, oh, well, Bears fans aren't going to sit through Caleb Williams. He can't just be a rookie. No, he's going to have those rookie mistakes. Now, the hope is that with the way that this team has built it and the way that the defense is, the Bears are still getting wins over that time. And just because you're a rookie that has some rookie mistakes does not mean that your team can't still win during that. But to act like Caleb Williams, just because of where he was drafted and the expectations from Bears fans, meaning that he's not going to have a couple of rough games, that he's not going to have some rookie hurdles to get over. I'm sorry, if you truly think that, then your expectations are out of this world and they're not realistic. Caleb Williams is going to have issues. That's what is going to happen. If he doesn't, he's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time right away. But to expect that not to happen, it doesn't matter. Like, and even like somebody like James Blackburn, who left a comment saying he better be an immortal being. Shut the fuck up. That's so stupid and asinine. Like, I get it. The expectations are and they should be extremely high for Caleb Williams. But to act like just because of the hype around him means that he's not going to have some rookie problems in it, you got to get your life together. He's going to have that, and he's going to have to learn through that. And I would say this, you want him to have that. If he comes in here and doesn't face any adversity and doesn't have hurdles, how can we truly evaluate him? You want to see a quarterback go through times, especially to see how they overcome that, how they bring the team together, go through those times. The greatest quarterbacks, even after they've reached greatness, have still had rough games, right? There's not been a single quarterback, no matter how great that they have, has not had games where they may even cost their team some games with interceptions and things like that. And to not have that, or to say that a rookie is not going to have that at all, I'm sorry, that's just silly. But all right, let's get into the next voicemail. This one's from my boy Fred.
Hey, yo, Hayes, what up, man? This be your boy Fred. Hey, I think Dexter is ready to make that leap because he's putting that work in this off season, and he look like he's in shape, and he's ready to go. I think, you know what I'm saying, not only just him, I think Pickens as well make that leap, so both of them can be them two dominant D tackles that we need. So I got hopes for him, though. Even though I never been big on them Gator players, even though they be good in college and then they get in the pros, they really don't be all that like that, though, man. But I think Dexter make a big ass leap, though. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, I'm looking forward to Jack Sanborn, man, because everybody keeps forgetting about Jack, and Jack's a sleeper. I'm looking forward to Jack, working on his hands so he can be out there on the field more with Tremaine Edmonds and C.J. Ellis. Because in that 4-3, I think Jack can cover. Jack just needs to work on his hands to get interception for us when it counts the most. Because we definitely be needing that as well. So if the Bears, possibly sign Yannick back, then okay, that's fine. He had 4 sacks. And after that, he was injured, but that's fine. They bring him back on the cheaper deal. Or get that edge rusher from Miami. I forgot his name. I don't know how to pronounce his name, so I ain't going to jack his name up like my boy C be doing people. But I don't know, man. I'm just looking forward to these guys, the rookies we drafted making a big leap. And, everybody making a big thing about, Caleb throwing interceptions. Yeah, everybody going to throw interceptions in OTAs. It's part of the learning curve and everything. So he just got to learn, and he just got to be patient and just read his keys more so he'll get an understanding of the game. So I think he's going to be right. That's why we had a practice. That's why we had these OTAs and everything to learn from it, though, and watch film from it. You know what I'm saying? So that way he'll know what he got to do, because college is different from the pros. So Caleb got to know how to just, come and learn how to be, playing in the pro league, because it's different from college. So we both know that. But I just want to see, Jack Sanborn, get his hands better. Also, as well, I want to see, Jaquan Brisker, do a little more coverage at times. You know what I'm saying? Because I think he can get more picks than what he's been getting. Because everybody's thinking he's not a good safety. I think he's a damn good safety. Especially for him to come in the box and he can hit. He ain't scared to tackle. So I think Jaquan Brisker, I think he can get more picks, and that's a good sign that we did. Let me know what you think. Chicago up, bear down and up.
I mean, they better hope that Javon Dexter makes the leap. I mean, everything that we've seen, that we've heard, it seems like Javon Dexter is prepared to make that leap for the Chicago Bears. And if he does, it's going to be huge. And like you said, there are a couple of players on this team that can have big years, both rookies, second-year players, and even third-year players. I'm looking at you, Jaquan Brisker, right? So that comes down to that. Now, as far as you saying that Jaquan Brisker, as far as getting picks, like I've said before, it's not just about getting picks. I said that with Jalen Johnson. You could be great and not necessarily get a huge number of interceptions, but we did see some fall through his hands that he should have gotten, and Jaquan Brisker has other things he absolutely needs to work on in this game regardless. So it's not to say that he doesn't have things that he still needs to work on. He absolutely does. But Jaquan, I'm not necessarily looking at the picks as being a barrier of that per se. It depends on how other things go in the season. But yeah, Jaquan is a player that I hope to see take a step. Javon Dexter's definitely one that we should have that expectation for. Jack Sanborn is another one in year 3. What is he bringing for the Chicago Bears team? Kyler Gordon. Tyreek Stevenson is a big one in that as well. So we got a lot of players on top of our rookies that need to make big steps for the Bears. And if those are, that's the thing that sustains success. If these young players start having those individual successes and we're having team success on top of that, man, that's where you start looking at a team that can make moves for a long and long times in the division and in the conference. And let's hope that that happens. Great voicemail there, Fred. Let's get into this next one. This one's from Vaughn.
Yo, Bobby, C-Dub, hey, Steve-O, Big Ken, what's the word, man? Your boy Big Von, man, from the low end. Just check in on y'all boys, man. I got a couple takes, and I got a couple hot topics for y'all today, man. Right off the bat, just piggybacking on the daily episode we had today that Hayes dropped. Like, I don't understand what's all the noise about with Braxton Jones. You know what I'm saying? Like, I truly believe, and this is just my opinion, you know what I'm saying? I believe Braxton is definitely like a top 15 tackle that we got in the NFL right now. You know what I'm saying? I believe that not only has he shown that, not only that he has the potential to be that, but I mean, you know, we got to take into consideration he is a 5th round pick from a couple years ago. And, you know, we expected him to do what he's doing now. So my thing is this, man, we got to chill on Braxton, man. I feel it like this. If Ryan Poles felt like the tackle was something so big and we needed to address, and that was a big issue, instead of getting Karan later in the 4th round, I believe he would have went on and went for a guy like Joe O or went for a guy like JC or something like that if he believed the tackle was a big problem. You know what I'm saying? So just chill on Braxton, man. He going to be all right. Also, as far as our receiving core, PFF, they rocking with us, man. They say we got one of the top receiving cores. I believe we do too. But I do believe it's all going to depend on Keenan Allen and what he can bring us. If Keenan Allen can come in here and give us a solid season like he's been doing for the past, 10+ years, then I feel like the sky's the limit for us. Long as Rome can stay healthy and we're going to let DJ do what he can do on the outside and he can stay healthy, I feel like the sky's the limit, man. It's all on Caleb. You know what I'm saying? If Caleb could get acclimated as quickly as possible, he can learn this playbook, learn the ins and outs, and get up to speed with the game speed, man, I believe we're going to be dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, I just came around, man. I believe we actually going to light it up, man. What you do when you play good is you talk yourself into the top guy conversation. Look at C.J. Stroud last year. We got guys looking at him now like he a top 5 quarterback. And, I mean, hey, what can you say? Numbers don't lie. So, hey, I feel like if Caleb can go out here and light it up, man, he could quickly silence the noise and thrust himself in the conversation of being one of them top quarterbacks that we know he got the potential to beat. You know what I'm saying? So that's another little hot topic I got for y'all. And last but not least, man, the running back room, Khalil Herbert.
There is a lot of noise around Braxton Jones, right? And I will say this, right? I don't think that just because Poles didn't address it doesn't mean that he doesn't see that it may need to be addressed, right? Because with Poles, it's about the talent. And just because he didn't go after Joe Alt or somebody like that, it may be because the talent that he did pick at that, he thought that those were bigger needs and maybe had higher ceilings overall. But as well as with Braxton, listen, you get one more year. This is another year to evaluate Braxton. And like I've said before, it's not like Braxton is terrible. He has some things that he needs to work on. Absolutely. He needs to develop. But I do think that Ryan Poles, I do think that this coaching staff still sees some potential in Braxton, and they want to give him time to say, hey, Brax, can you develop these things into your game? Can you get stronger? Can you learn to handle the bull rush? If not, they did get Kieran Emagaje, who can help a lot with that and who may end up being a starting level offensive lineman in this league. I mean, he can play tackle or guard, so we'll see that. But I do think that if Braxton doesn't take a step this season, that we could see the tackle and the trenches overall in a lot of ways addressed by the Chicago Bears in next year's draft. That may be something that they focus on, as well as the edge position as well. Let me know what you guys think on that down below. All right, let's get into this next voicemail. This one's from Darius.
What's going on, guys? Darius from Dallas here. I just want to call in and give my thoughts on my expectations for two key players, man, on the team this year that aren't Caleb Williams or none of them stars we got. Of course, I'm going defense. I don't think anybody's talking enough about the impact that Tremaine Edmonds is about to have this year. Like, we already had a top 3 linebacking core. I really feel like we got one of the best linebacking cores in the league. All right. And that's basically mostly on what TJ did, which is great. I hope he continues to do that. And we got, Sanborn, he's a natural instinct guy. But Tremaine Edmonds, last year, he didn't have a horrible year, but he didn't do as good. I feel like he was overthinking. He's still trying to learn the system. He was overthinking. Edmonds is a natural, instinct type guy, and he wasn't able to do that last year. I think he will this year, and he's got a coach in Eric Washington who used to play with him and knows exactly how to use him. The kid's got, I'm not making this comparison, but his athletic ability and his tangibles and his height and his length, it's a lot like Urlacher. He's not as good, but I'm looking forward to seeing what Eric Washington, who knows Tremaine Edmonds, is going to do with him and how he's going to use him and how that's going to impact our defense. I don't think that's talked about enough, man. Don't be surprised if after the season we look back and go, damn, Tremaine Edmonds was one of our best defensive players. Other than it might even end up being the best one other than Montez Sweat. But we'll see. Next thing, man, is I heard what you said about what's his name, Braxton Jones. I do think he is a solid left tackle, but he just reminds me a little bit too much of Charles Leno. And that's what we dealt with Charles Leno. He had the length, he had the size, he could move his feet good for his size and his ability and his weight, but he has no power. He had no power. Charles Leno can get blown off the ball with a bull rush just like that. I think Braxton Jones has the same thing. All the elite tackles, even the ones that are really good, you have to have power, and that's not that Braxton Jones doesn't have that. Penei Sewell, power. Trent Williams, power. You have to start there as a left tackle. That has to start off being your strength. Can it be developed? Yes. Unless he out of nowhere develops this insane power, he's never going to be an elite left tackle, and we're going to move on from him anyway. So we might as well give a new guy a shot. I know y'all like him. It's okay to me, but he's Charles Leno, so I know we can do better. He doesn't have any power. I don't think he'll ever develop it, but we'll see. Texas up, there now.
Tremaine Edmonds being one of the better defensive players. He had some hurdles, and even TJ Edwards got out to a slow start, but then Tremaine had the injuries, and so that may have affected it. And even that, he still put over 100 tackle season together. So I do think that Tremaine Edmonds could be a guy that we definitely look at in the season as taking a step and kind of the continuity, getting health, all those things. That could be big for Tremaine Edmonds. And overall, this defense, I think, another year, I'm with you. This linebacking core, I like a lot. I like the balance of the linebacking core. I think Noah Sewell as well as a depth piece is going to have some things to prove this season, and he's going to want to do that as well. But this is a core that I really like as far as the linebackers, and I think the synergy between the line, them, and the secondary, we could see some of the best football between all three phases of the levels of the defense heading into next year. And if we can do that, then yeah, the expectations around this defense to be top 10, those are legit. And the linebacking core plays a part in that. And like you said, while I look at TJ Edwards as kind of the secret weapon, and we talked about that a little bit, Tremaine Edmonds is definitely somebody that I think has a huge opportunity to wow a lot of Bears fans this year as well, if he brings it. Let's hope that he does. As far as Braxton, listen, I'm not getting into comparing Braxton to anybody from past because he doesn't have the power. Like you said, could he develop it? Yeah. But you are even somebody who recently said something about not signing Tevin Jenkins. So I'm sorry, Darius. I love you, brother, but your estimations on who we need to re-sign or not, I do think that even if he doesn't excel, right, and they still look at it and say, hey, there is somebody that we're going to bring in a better starting level tackle here, that doesn't mean they can't re-sign Braxton Jones if he's willing to accept it, because I do think he's a guy that either way, he can play multiple positions. We know that. And he's a guy that could stick around and play a lot of different roles for you. So we'll see where the Bears, I won't just assume that the Bears aren't going to bring him back. It really depends on that money. And I don't think Braxton has shown enough to where he's going to be one of those tackles that merely commands a lot of money. But we'll see what happens with that. We'll see. All right, let's get into this next voicemail. This one's from Booker.
Yo, Hayes, what's good, man? This book, man, blessings to you and yours, man. I got a couple of things on the brain, man. I think that the Bears fandom, a lot of it, man, is so marred in the history of the Bears that they refuse or just plain out can't see the future. Like how everybody keeps talking about how terrible the trenches are. The O-line and the D-line. I'm going to tell you, they're not terrible. The D-line and the O-line is not terrible. Now, I think the D-line is average, but that don't make it terrible. And I think the O-line is actually above average. And the reason why I'm saying that is because we finally have two centers that can snap the ball. People don't understand how much that messed up a lot of the timing and the plays last year. You know, some had to do with the quarterback play, some had to do with the line play, a lot had to do with the center play, because every time the ball is snapped, you don't know where it's going. So that's already put them above average. Wright is going to improve this year, and he already had a hell of a year. This man was holding off folks with one arm. So I don't understand why people don't think that they're going to get better. Braxton Jones, he's good. He's not great. He's not terrible. He's good. Can he improve? Yes. Do I think he will improve? Yes. People acting like he just straight garbage, man. They need to stop that. My only question on the line really is Nate Davis. Now, with Nate Davis, it's because it's the health. It had nothing to do with the personal reasons. You know, I understand that, man. I lost my mama back in 2005, and I'm still not right. So can't nobody tell me nothing about that. It's his health. If he come in focused and healthy, that's another good dude to have on that line. Devin Jenkins, excuse me, I think he's going to play 15 games this year. And we all know Jenkins. We already know what that is. With the D-line, everybody for to be in for a shocker with this D-line, man. I think they're going to be better than what people are thinking. I think Dex is going to take that step. You know, we already know what Sweat is. And I think Booker is going to have a couple of breakout games, man. He's going to have like a Mark Anderson. He's going to look like Mark Anderson a few times. But that's all I wanted to say, man. Chicago up, bear down. Have a good weekend, and I'll holler.
Bears fans being caught in the past, listen, we're all kind of, we do that, right? It's a PTSD in a form, right? We all have that. And, you know, the people talk about the trenches, and I get it in a sense because they haven't shown it yet. And so while we can talk about things like better health, development, those type of things, a lot of Bears fans, because what we've seen a struggle, are going to believe what they've seen until they see something different. And that I can completely understand. I agree with you as well that the center play had a big impact on that overall, on that offensive line, and just getting the snap count right, not being able to snap the ball sometimes, those type of things. But I do think that this offensive line is going to be better than what a lot of Bears fans are giving it credit for right now, but they just need to see it. And for one, I can't blame them for that. Nate Davis is being a big question as far as his health and him being able to stay focused. I agree with that as well. Nate Davis isn't a bad player. And I think he's going to bring a lot to this Bears team as long as he's locked in and stays healthy over the course of the season. I overall am higher on the trenches for the Bears because I think maybe I'm just assuming that Javon Dexter makes another leap, right? Maybe or a leap because not another one. Maybe it's my assumption of the offensive line staying healthier and having better continuity. But I also think better play calling, better schemes on the offensive side. Now that Luke Getsy's gone, they're going to help that as well on the trenches on the offensive side. And Eric Washington, being a former D-line coach, he's going to bring it to those defensive linemen and keep everybody fresh. And I think a full year of Montez Sweat being here in a Bears uniform is going to help tremendously as well. But as always, you guys can let me know what you guys think down below. That's my time for today, guys, man. I appreciate you guys so much for everything that you've brought to this show over the course of this offseason. We're going to keep delivering the daily content, man. Make sure you guys are following the show at Shy Bears Central on every social media platform. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. No, that's the wrong number. Bull Central number. Always giving the wrong number. 773-242-9336. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related, and we'll see you guys next time we make a video, y'all. Like I like to end every episode on Chi-Town up, bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.